Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, all praises and double honors due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, or Malak Yahweh Shai. Secondly, this is Brother Yardan, W5 Detroit, coming back at you with yet another cold cut. Today in this cold cut, we will be discussing the Doomsday Clock. Right now, for those who may not have heard, may not know what that is, we'll fully elaborate it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Alright, so as the title reads, Nuclear Nightmare, Doomsday Clock, 90 seconds to midnight. Now, again, what is this Doomsday Clock? And how does Esau know it's 90 seconds to midnight? And how do we know it's going to be destruction at midnight? Well, like a lot of things in earth, Esau has been inspired from the scriptures, right? Because we do read about a doomsday clock, so-called, in the Bible. Again, it may not necessarily say doomsday clock, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, we can strongly perceive that that's exactly what it is. At midnight, aka 12 o'clock, that's when all hell will break loose. And that's when the Lord is going to return. All right, so we're going to go through the precepts and bring out precept upon precept and precept upon precept here and there a little, right? So Israel may get edified. So let's dive into it. The definition of doomsday clock. A symbolic clock whose time is moved closer to and further away from midnight to indicate the current likelihood of a man-made catastrophe causing the destruction of the world. Now that's a pretty accurate, definition for the most part. However, in our case, it's going to continue to get closer and closer as the days proceed. Now the Lord can do anything, but we know through the scriptures that it's always clicking forward. You understand? The Lord's not going to bring it back to 9 o'clock. The Lord's not going to bring it back to 3 o'clock. It's on what it's on. We'll read about that eventually in Second Esdras. All right. And during Esdras time, which we'll read, it was around 1130. All right. That was around the 3rd century, if I'm not mistaken. All right. But in any case, all these years that's passed, over like 2,000, you can only imagine what time it is now. And Esau may say 90 seconds, or in the eyes of the Lord, it may be 80 seconds. But nevertheless, we can all come to a consensus and agreement that we're definitely reaching the end. So without further ado, we're going to dive into the precepts. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. All right? So let's read that again slowly. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, token is a sign. You understand? All right? That's all it is. A token is a sign. Behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon earth. And the Lord would definitely show us a multitude of tokens. All right? But although you may see a token, that doesn't mean you acknowledge it. You can know that you walk past McDonald's. You can see it, but to really acknowledge it and take heed to it, you're going to mark it in your head. You're going to remember it. That's what you should do when you see these tokens. You should mark it. You should remember it. And remember that it's, and understand, I should say, that it's not for no reason. All right? Because most people, they see these things and they say, it's whatever. That's not that deep. It'll come, something else to happen. Things will, be okay. Salakia. So you can't be ignorant of the tokens. Salakia. But, and there's going to come a point in time where the way of truth shall be hidden. Right? And what's the truth? Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, the law, statutes, commandments. That's the truth. All right? And this truth is saying on the highways and byways, right? In a majority of cities every Friday and Saturday. So let's get another precept. For the world has lost his youth, and the times began to wax old. This is during the Esdras. All right? This is during the Persian Empire. I'll read that again. For the world has lost his youth, and the times began to wax old. For the world is divided into 12 parts. All right? The scriptures doesn't have to say doomsday clock. We understand through the spirit that this is what, this is what it is. All right? It doesn't have to say clock for you to understand that it's a clock. For the world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10 parts of it are gone already, and half of the 10th part. And there remaineth that which is after a half of the 10th part. Right? So if I'm not mistaken, it's around like 10:30. All right, let's read that again. It's like it. For the world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10 parts of it are gone already. All right, the 10 parts are gone already, so it's about 10 o'clock, and half of the 10th part, 10:30, and there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part. All right? Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people, comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Let go from thee mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature. All right? So we see the time that it is during Esdras, during this Persian Empire. How much more today? It has to be around 1150. You understand? So let's get out another precept that goes into proving that this Bible speaks of a so-called doomsday clock. This is Matthew chapter 25, verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. The bridegroom is Yahweh Shai in this parable. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps, and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. All right, now, Lord willing, we're the 5 bridegrooms. It's like we're the 5 virgins that are diligent. You understand? But let's continue. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made. At midnight, aka 12 o'clock, there was a cry made. Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. All right, that's spiritual, because when the Lord returns, we're going to go into the clouds to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. The lamps is your understanding. All right, that's Proverbs 6:23. All right, the oil is the knowledge. Right? And the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil, for our lamps are going out. These are the Israelites that burnt out, that didn't really care, that didn't give a damn. They heard it for a minute and they're out. All right. But the wise answered, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go ye rather to them that sell and buy it for yourselves. Because then that day, people are going to be asking us, where the Israelites, that's what it even says in Second Esdras. Is there righteousness in the land that passeth through? Loosely paraphrasing. Verse 10. And while they yet went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. All right, that's it. Last call for alcohol, as they say. The door was shut. Afterwards came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, verily, I was unto you, I know you not. Right? Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. And that's plain. That's easy to understand. All right? You don't want to be the 5 foolish virgins. Don't be that. All right? So again, this is a parable. For those who have an ear to hear, then you should be able to understand that the Lord speaks of a so-called doomsday clock. This is Psalm 78:1. Give ear, O my people, to my law. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. We will not hide them from their children, shewing to the generation to come the praises of the Lord and his strength and his wonderful works that he hath done. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers, that they should make them known to their children, that the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children, that they might set their hope in God and not forget the works of God, but keep his commandments. So all this hidden knowledge, this mysteries is being known unto this very generation as well. Because the Lord already declared it from the beginning. Right? So again, the end is nigh. Here's another picture, infograph. The Doomsday Clock, a symbolic measure of proximity to apocalypse, was moved forward to 11:57 on the 22nd of January due to worries over climate change and nuclear buildup. We've charted the swings of its minute hand since 1947. Now, Esau may say it goes back and forth, but it's continually moving forward in the eyes of God, you know? So Abaratazai, Israel may get edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Lord willing, Israel is edified. Until next time, Shalom.